Doctor, let me ask you a very simple question. How do you think you're going to scale your healthcare practice from rupees 10 to 20 lakh a month to over rupees 1 crore a month? By seeing more patients, opening more clinics, taking loans, and building a multi specialty hospital? That's what almost every doctor tells me. And yes, you might increase your revenue, but you will also increase your expenses. More staff, more rent, more equipment, more management, more headaches. On paper, your revenue goes up, but in reality, your profits barely move. And the worst part, you end up working even more than before. That was the exact mindset of one of my clients, a general physician. When he joined our healthcare authority program, his entire plan was very simple. Again, on paper. Create more content, get more patients, open more clinics, rinse and repeat. But what happened is, on our very first call, I told him to forget that roadmap because the problem wasn't patient volume, it was his business model. And fast forward to 10 months, today he's doing over 1 crore a month, still operating just 2 clinics in the same city with nearly 55 to 60% net profit. Explosion. So let me walk you through the exact roadmap we used to make him the authority in his niche while building a far more profitable healthcare business. Also, if you're a healthcare professional who wants to build authority, attract better patients, and create a practice that dominates its market, apply to work with me below. If we are a good fit, we'll reach out personally. Let me first break down the 12 biggest mistakes healthcare professionals make that keep them stuck with their business. And then we will transition to the biggest solution, the solution that is sitting in front of you and yet you ignore it. And this is the solution that will make you crores the same way to help Dr. J. So, mistake number 1, expanding too fast. Second clinic, third clinic, bigger team, more rent, more overhead, but demand hasn't increased. Result, more stress, same income, or maybe less income. Mistake number 2, building infrastructure before building demand. Doctors love, and I've seen this time and again, they love bigger clinic, bigger office, more staff, fancy interiors, and patients don't give a flying F. They just don't care. What patients care about is trust, outcomes, reputation. So build demand first. Infrastructure comes second. Always. Mistake number 3, being the best kept secret. Many doctors believe if I'm good enough, people will find me. That's not how markets work, my friend. The most visible, trusted expert often wins, not necessarily the most qualified. So if you think you are overly qualified and the universe would do something to make clients visit your or get treatment through your system, it won't just happen. Mistake number 4, selling time instead of outcomes. Many doctors are trapped in rupees 500 to rupees 1000 to rupees 2000 consultations. They're always selling hours. The richest healthcare professionals build packages, programs, memberships, and continuity, which relates to lifetime value of a patient. Mistake number 5, depending entirely on referrals. Referrals are amazing until they slow you down. The moment referrals dare, panic starts. Every business needs a predictable acquisition system, and you might be losing on the same. Mistake number 6, no patient journey. Patient comes and patient leaves. End of relationship. Very huge mistake. The best healthcare businesses think, what happens after consultation, after treatment, after success? And that's how great healthcare entrepreneurs are built. Mistake number 7, trying to serve everyone, which is kind of the category of general healthcare. Everyone is my patient. I cure everyone. I treat everyone. This usually means nobody remembers you. Specialist always scales. Generalists always struggle. Mistake number 8, hiring before building systems. Man, oh man, the biggest rookie mistake. Most clinic owners think more people equals more growth. The reality is bad systems plus more people equals bigger and worsened chaos. Mistake number 9, ignoring personal branding. They spend lakhs on interiors, lakhs on equipments, but zero on visibility. Meanwhile, competitors dominate attention. Mistake number 10, measuring revenue instead of profit. Many doctors brag, my clinic does 1 crore per month. Cool. How much do you keep? Revenue always impresses, but profit is what changes lives. Talk about profit, not revenue. Mistake number 11, not building trust before the consultation. This is the one I talk the most. Patients now obviously Google you, search Instagram, read reviews, watch videos before they even book an appointment with you. The consultations often start days before they enter your clinic. So you need to be wise and start preparing. Mistake number 12, thinking like a doctor instead of a CEO. This is probably the strongest one. Many healthcare professionals think better doctor equals bigger business. Not always, not always. Bigger businesses usually requires leadership, systems, marketing, positioning, patient acquisition, front-end operations, back-end operations, team management, everything. They're 2 different skill sets. So now let's take Dr. J's case study more precisely. And hopefully this would help with many healthcare professionals watching this video, and we worked on many KPIs and strategies together, and those KPIs and strategies were based off of these particular markers. When we started working together, his consultation fees was around rupees 3,000. His monthly patient volume was around 160ish to 200. That's a rough figure. And monthly revenue was approximately 6 to 7 lakhs. Like many healthcare professionals, he had built a very, very successful practice, but there was a ceiling. He hit like a dead end. And the goal wasn't to get more patients. The goal was to build a better business model which would work for him real time, because the Dr. J was more of a backpacking kind of guy, backpacking with family kind of guy, and wanted to spend some leisure time with his family, which he didn't find time for. Since the past 6 to 7 years, he was just grinding his ass off. So what we needed to do was we needed to find a better business model which would give him more profit margins, or keep the profit margins as it is, but create more chunk of time for him and give a scope wherein he can actually improve his business in the near future. So step one was to understand the patient. Before creating a single piece of content, we had to spend time understanding who his patients actually were. In marketing language, this is known as ICP, which is Ideal Client Persona. And basically, when we talk about ICP, we need to find a pattern, a repeating pattern. And we did notice a pattern in his business too. A large percentage of his patients were struggling with pre-diabetes, diabetes, or hypertension. And these were some common issues that we found in his practice. While medication plays a very important role in managing these conditions, we also know that lifestyle interventions can significantly improve outcomes for many patients. And when you focus on this particular word, let me bold this out, lifestyle intervention, you will find a sense of clarity, and that is what we found, which is, instead of trying to speak to everyone, we decided to focus primarily on these two patient categories only. Not because we wanted to ignore everyone else. We were taking intakes of patients who were having various other issues, ailments, but because specificity creates authority. Let me repeat that again. Specificity creates authority, and authority is very, very important. So at step 2, we knew our ICP, or ideal client persona, were these 3 patients: pre-diabetes, diabetes, and hypertension. We need to attract more of them. How to attract the right patients? Once we knew who we wanted to serve, the next question became, how do we attract more of them? And the answer was pretty obvious, which was content. That is what we do. So we built a content strategy specifically around diabetes, blood sugar management, hypertension, lifestyle modification, long-term health transformation. So this was his new market. I mean, he was teaching or educating people or curing people or helping people out with the existing issues that they came in with. But this is what we tried focusing on. And the goal wasn't views. The goal was to attract highly qualified patients again. And this is a very big issue that most healthcare professionals who come and onboard with us have, which is they do not know how to attract highly qualified patients, right? Now, after all of this comes step 3, which is building the authority machine. When we initially started out, Dr. J was only using Instagram. We had to optimize his Instagram profile and content strategy, while simultaneously we started building a YouTube channel in the background. This is another rookie mistake that many healthcare professionals make. They think that creating content on Instagram no doubt gives them instant visibility. It's very easy to churn out. You can just mount your phone onto a tripod and just start fucking cranking videos, and you start getting some initial traction. But YouTube is pretty difficult. But let me tell you this, YouTube always builds great loyal audience, and you need to build great loyal audience. Pay you a ton more. They have more purchasing power. They are more invested in you. Obviously, because Instagram is short form content and YouTube is long form content. And if you also focus on long form content, you'll get those clients who are willing to invest in you. So we started optimizing his YouTube channel, and today that channel has over 100,000 subscribers. He also has a silver play button just like this I have for my YouTube channel. The philosophy was simple behind this. Patients discover him through Instagram, they follow him, and through strategic content and automations, they are introduced to his YouTube channel where he can educate them in much greater depth. That was the whole philosophy behind that, which initially created significantly warmer leads. Then we used to analyze his comment section, tried finding out patterns, and we used to repeat that loop again and again, and we started finding patterns and started doubling down on those patterns. So the basic rule of thumb is Instagram generates attention and YouTube builds trust. Together, when you combine both of them, they create patient demand, which is very, very important. Step 4 was to reposition the practice. And one of the most important shifts was changing the language of the business. If your business language is not understandable to your ICP, which is ideal client persona, it's not going to work. So instead of viewing everyone purely as patients, we started building a client journey. It sounds more premium, client. And that subtle change influenced everything: positioning, communication, expectations, and value perception. As we increase the authority, we raise the initial consultation fee from rupees 3,000 to rupees 5,000. He was pretty skeptical when we took this move, but his top line increased because of that. No doubt some of the patients did get offended, but that should not stop you from raising your prices for the quality that you provide. And interestingly, this did not hurt demand, it improved lead quality. Now, all of this aside, comes step 5, where we had to start creating a follow-up system. Another important KPI, which is most healthcare professionals lose opportunities after the consultation or the first consultation, or they treat consultations like to call as the one consultation stand, similar to the concept of one night stands. Dr. J did the opposite, and we made him do the opposite. After the initial consultation, patients didn't simply disappear. His team continued nurturing them. And by nurturing, we do not mean texting them on Instagram or blasting them with emails or blasting them with WhatsApp marketing messages. We started giving them funnel by funnel educational content, relevant YouTube videos, progress check-ins, and lifestyle guidance. And we were not expecting anything in return. We were just warming them up. We were just edging them up. This increased trust dramatically. Because, hey, this is the psychology of a patient. This doctor cares for me. I was also working with a dentist once, and that dentist did this one thing in their clinic, and it changed everything. They started giving ice lollies to the patients who got some sort of treatment, I don't know, root canal or extraction or something like that. You need something cold. So instead of just giving them ice water, we started giving them lollies. Or we had the dentist had 8 to 10 different flavors, and that increased trust dramatically, that this particular dentist cares for me. And that is how you create trust. That is how you create LTV, lifetime value. And not only did the referrals increase, but the inbound leads also started increasing, because we started making content around that same thing, that you get free ice lollies after your treatment. So that helped that dentist a lot, and she's happy. So what happens here is, psychology behind doing all of this is warming or nurturing the clients is, by the time follow-up happened, and after nurturing them by doing all of these steps striked off, many patients already viewed Dr. J as their long-term health partner. And that is a very big move. And after that, we had to move to step 6, which is introducing a high-ticket lifestyle program. This is where his business truly transformed. During follow-ups, qualified patients were introduced to a structured 3-month or 6-month lifestyle transformation program, and the pricing was approximately rupees 3 lakhs per client. This program wasn't sold immediately. It wasn't like a fish market where you go in and you do kind of price shopping. This was understanding what patients first needed. They needed diagnosis, education, trust, proof. And because the acquisition system was attracting the right people and the nurturing system was warming them effectively, conversion rates reached approximately 30 to 35%. Obviously, the close rate was not very good when we started out. It was around 10%, 15%, and we had to fiddle with the offer a little bit. Then the close rates went to 70, 80%. And if the close rate is 70 to 80%, which means for every 10 patients, 7 are closing in your high ticket offer, there is pricing issue, or your program is very cheap. So we had to fiddle that again. And the 30 to 35% is the ballpark. So for every 10 patients that we were getting, we tried converting 3 to 4 patients. That was the sweet spot. So because we implemented all of this, patient volume actually decreased. And it decreased from around 200 patients per month to roughly around 100. But don't be fooled, because patient quality actually increased very, very dramatically. And these patients, these 100 patients, were highly committed individuals who wanted serious results, were not price shopping, were not participating in this one consultation stand wherein they go to one doctor on Mondays and then go to a different doctor on the Tuesdays and then try hopping here and there. These 100 patients were highly committed. We were not able to close many patients, but we kept warming them, and months down the line, months down the pipeline, or months down the funnel, they started converting as well. So step 7 was to building a lean delivery team. You might be thinking that this must be taking in too much of expenditure, team expenditure, back-end operation expenditure. But as demand grew, Dr. J built a specialized support team consisting of nutritionists, dietitians, fitness coaches, and support staff. But Dr. J remained the face of the brand. So now all the heavy lifting is being done by all these people in the back end, and Dr. J is just in the front end, just handling the marketing side of things. He's the main doctor, but handling the marketing. And Dr. J was assigned to build more authority, and he was the trusted expert in this whole ecosystem. The team handled obviously the implementation, while he focused on diagnosis, leadership, and patient trust. The funnel was very simple. Patient comes to him, the ideal client persona. We were targeting our ideal clients through content. They came to him, and he sent them down the funnel to all these people. So the credible person was Dr. J, and he sent this to his team of these 5 people in various clinics, and that is how he started creating more patients into clients. Now, let's talk some numbers. I know people would be interested in some numbers. Since we increased the pricing, the monthly consultation increased by whatever he was doing, around 3 to 6 lakh to 5 lakh per month. No doubt, the front end reduced a little bit, but this added thing was the real freaking deal. Previously, he was just referring the patients to various doctors or colleagues of his, but now he was doing this much. That's not magic. That's correct funnel building, pipeline building, authority building, and targeting. He started getting 35 clients a month, and 35 into 3 lakh, which was his ticket price, gave him 1.05 crore a month. And his total revenue scaled to 1.1 crore per month. Profitability was around approximately 55 to 60% profit after the team and all the operational expenses. And that is how Dr. J became one of the most successful case studies in our portfolio. Okay, what's the real lesson? This wasn't magic. It wasn't luck, and it definitely wasn't about posting random reels or random YouTube videos online. It was the result of better positioning, better patient targeting, better content, better trust building, better follow-up systems, better business design. And that combined with consistent execution from both Dr. J and his team. Most healthcare professionals focus on getting more patients without all these systems. And the highest performing healthcare businesses focus on increasing patient value, trust, retention, and outcomes. Bam! That's where real growth happens. 10 years from now, there will be 2 types of healthcare professionals, and that is going to be absolutely true. That is my prediction. Those who build authority early, and those who spend their careers wondering why less qualified people become more successful or have become more successful. So, long story short, if you're ready to build a category leading practice, apply below to work with me. And if you're a healthcare professional still procrastinating how to build an online presence, since it seems very, very tedious to you, watch this next video where I exactly tell you how you can make more money as a doctor with content creation. Go on.